24 hours. Now, Cole Barber posted this earlier today in the Sikkim365.com premium section. There's two different pages here. Let's take this one first. In 2022, this season, Texas Tech, with Kitley, of course, as offensive coordinator, has run 100-plus plays 3 times this year, including their last 2 games. 3 times, Houston at the start of the year, Oklahoma State on the road, and then their blowout of West Virginia, 103, 104, 103. That's a bunch of plays 3 times this year. Now, to put that in perspective, from 2009 to 2021, they had, go back to the first page, Garrett. I was reading the bottom part of it. 100 plays, and they ran a lot of this. They had 100 plays 7 times. They've had 3 this season already. Don't go to the second page until we discuss this.
Well, and given the way that Baylor's defense has been playing, I don't see that number being too far off from 100 on Saturday, win or lose. I think I think they can get those in.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I mean, they're going to try to run 100 plays, and they've been very successful at that, and they're going to try to keep the ball out of Baylor's hands. I think that they'll be effective on offense as they have been pretty much all year. And, it's just a matter of how many stops can Baylor get and how can they respond when Tech does score. I mean, it's a hard offense to defend because they go for it on 4th down quite often. They're not a great running team, but they're going to throw it all over. And now it seems like they might have their best fitted quarterback in Baron Morton. At least it appears that could be the case. So, it's going to be tough for Baylor's defense. They're going to have to find a way to get off the field. And if they don't, then Tech's just going to keep running play after play after play and going to wear them down. And I'm sure that's the goal. If I've picked up on anything from Joey McGuire interviews and just various things, it's they're very well aware of that defensive line. And I'm sure they're very well aware of that shaky secondary. But you run 100 plays, you wear down guys like Apu Ika and Cole Maxwell or whoever else you want to throw out there on the D-line. Not that they're getting to the quarterback anyways, but you want to really make them ineffective, have them out there for 95 plays, and then, trying to get a stop in the 4th quarter. They're not going to be accustomed to that. So be very curious as how Dave Aranda and his staff have, kind of addressed that possibility and that likelihood, because you can't get guys more conditioned in a week's time, right? So are they conditioned enough to be able to go out to Lubbock and be out there potentially for 100 plays? I don't know that question because we haven't seen them have to do that. So, yeah, that's one of the big question marks of this game is, can the Baylor defense get stops and get that Tech offense off the field? Can they get stops on 4th down multiple times on Saturday night? Because based on what we've seen, Joey McGuire is going to go for it on 4th down multiple times on Saturday night. They're not punting if it's not the most obvious situation. So, yeah, make us punt or get us off the field, stop us, or else we're just going to play offense until we die. That's basically what's going to happen.
And they have just enough of an effective running game. And remember now, West Virginia gashed Baylor with the running game. With Thompson and Brooks, both combined over 300 yards, 700-plus yards, almost 700 yards, and 9 touchdowns on the ground just with those two. Xavier White, their leading receiver, he and Jaron and Bradley both have caught. Miles Price as well have caught 8 touchdowns among the 3 of them, and also nearly 90 catches. So that's the first part of it. Texas Tech is at 100-plus plays 3 times this year, and even though they were known for what they did with getting the ball out and running and tons of plays, they only did it 7 times prior to this year from 2009 to 2021, so it's working. They're still, again, their record is still what it is, but the offense is what they're doing. It is working. Now, put it in perspective.
I want to, do you have the total team plays per game? Is that something you're about to show? Just in all college football? Because I was going to add, they run 14 more plays or 13 plus more plays than any other team in the country per game.
That's not a surprise.
Almost, 2-3 series if you're looking at it that way. They run nearly
or one damn good long,
or just one long touchdown drive, or like Baylor or like Kansas last week, couple long touchdown drives that they had. But yeah, they run 97.2 plays per game. The closest is Oklahoma State, runs 83.7 plays per game so far through 2022, and over the last 3. Texas Tech has averaged exactly 100 plays per game. So, whereas Oklahoma State's still the second most plays, but they're averaging 83.7. So that's 14 more plays per game.
And Oklahoma State got them, remember, 41-31 in Stillwater. So they're one of the teams that enjoys that pace too, or is not afraid to be a part of that pace with Spencer Sanders. Now, to put things in perspective, Baylor, I remember when Briles was here, that used to be like a goal. I mean, they wanted to get above 100, and here's how many times they did, a lot. Now, remember what we said. Texas Tech for 12 years, from 2009 to 2021, it actually might be 13 years, 7 times. Here is where Baylor, when they ran the up-tempo offense, 2011, twice under Briles. 2014, once. That was the incredible 61-58 game with TCU. They did it twice in 15. That was the last year Briles, and, of course, including the bowl game when they ran the ball down North Carolina's throat. They did it with the Briles staff twice in 2016. And then in 17, Matt Rule's first year, they had 101. And I think that might have been the year that they gave Oklahoma hell and almost had an onside kick recovered at the end of that game. And they Baker Mayfield and Oklahoma won the game, but they gave Oklahoma hell with that. So they've done it. During that time, they've done it 8 times, but not any time recently. Tech's done it 3 times this year. So who wins the pace? Baylor wants to have more complementary football with what they do, and they haven't always been able to, of course, accomplish that. They would rather, if they could, ground and pound and maybe some play action, try to hit Texas Tech's, secondary on occasion. But they're getting what they want, Texas Tech, and trying to slow that down. We all turned in predictions earlier today on the game. We'll have those. I guess that will be posted tomorrow, but also we'll have it on our pregame Saturday at 4:30 on CW Channel and here on 365 Sports.